This video will cover all the information that you need to know about gearing up in Season 2, from Raid, Mythic Plus, Delves, Crafted Gear, everything, as well as some major changes to gearing this time that you need to be aware of. I've also included some bonus tips at the end that other guides may not mention, so let's dive in. But first of all, if you're new here, welcome to the Drowsy Dragon. Do subscribe to make sure that you don't miss out on any of our World of Warcraft content. With that said, let's begin. So, some changes to gearing this time. Bonus rolls. A simple change to begin with. Mythic Plus bonus rolls will still require just one Nebulous Void Core, but this is now also the same for Raid bonus rolls. They only need one Void Core, down from 2 like it was in Season 1. It will continue to remove the item that you get from the loot table as a bit of bad luck protection, so eventually you are guaranteed to get the item that you want, just the same way as Season 1. You can now get the bonus rolls from your Great Vault as another option, so if you roll a bad vault and don't want any of the items, you can choose to get another bonus roll instead. To make this available, you do need to complete any row of your Great Vault, so it will require either 8 Mythic Plus runs, 6 Raid Boss kills, or 8 World Activities to make this available as an option. When we get to the 8th week of the season, which is the 13th of October, Orange Straylight will grant you 1 additional Void Core per week. You can find him next to the Catalyst here in Silvermoon, and while he's here, it does mean that you no longer need to go to the Void Storm to get your Nebulous Void Cores. Remember, bonus rolls are super valuable too, as when you use them to get an item, you will always get the item as if it was dropped from the Great Vault. So very valuable using these if you're Mythic raiding for sure, as it will always be maximum upgrade level. For Mythic Plus players, do remember to use your bonus rolls on keys at level 10 or above to make sure that you get Myth Track gear. Then we've got Ascendant Venomstones this time, so the Void Cores have been renamed to Venomstones for this season, and these will make a return later on in the season, so we can advance our gear to even higher item levels, so not available at season launch. Eventually, we will be able to further boost the item level of fully upgraded hero, myth and max rank quality crafted items, so weapons, trinkets, and this time necklaces as well, to myth 8 out of the upgrade track, which is item level 334 for ascended myth items. Ascended hero items will go to 321 item level. When these become available, we will get Ascendant Venomstones from every heroic or mythic raid boss, every mythic plus 10 dungeon or above, tier 11 bountiful delves, and nightmare prey hunt boxes. You will need 10 of these in order to upgrade one piece of equipment, up from 5 in Season 1. So they are slowing this down a bit, as they basically felt that the gearing in Season 1 was a bit too fast for what they liked. Changes to crests, so crests have now been renamed to Mist crests for Season 2. Now early in the PTR cycle, the upgrades were changed to be scaling, so that as you advanced up the ranks of an item's upgrade track, it cost more and more crests, increasing the overall amount of crests for each item to become fully upgraded to 150 rather than 100. However, this has been reverted to work as it did in Season 1. So it will always cost the same amount of crests to upgrade an item, whether you're going from 1 out of 6 to 5 out of 6, for example. So it is the same as Season 1, it will cost 100 crests in total to take an item from 1 out of 6 to 6 out of 6 on its upgrade track. You can see here the content you will need to complete to get each type of crest in Season 2, with Myth Crest dropping from Mythic Raid and Mythic Plus 9 dungeons. They work in pretty much exactly the same way. Now, once you outgrow the need for a certain type of crests, you do unlock the ability to trade those crests up to the next tier. For example, if your gear is all higher than Adventurer track, or at least 6 out of 6 Adventurer, you can now trade Adventurer crests up to Veteran crests. And you get the feat of strength for each type of crest, for example, Champion of the Mist, and then your entire warband benefits from a 50% reduction in crests needed to upgrade items on that crest level. I said crests so many times, let's move on. Gearing up is important in World of Warcraft, but gearing up in real life matters too, and one of the best upgrades that you can make to your setup is a standing desk like the E7 Pro from today's sponsor, FlexiSpot. It's designed for easy assembly, so simple that even a Murloc could do this. Switching from sitting to standing is an absolute game changer, and the controller has 4 easily programmed memory presets: sitting, standing, even gnome and Tauren mode, as well as anti-collision protection just to make sure you don't accidentally squash any passing gnomes. The upgraded dual motors on the E7 Pro can lift up to 180 kilograms. that's enough to lift one entire Tauren. Probably best to not test that with an actual Tauren. The desk moves very smoothly and quietly, and the built-in cable management stops everything underneath looking like goblin engineering. FlexiSpot celebrates its 10th anniversary this August with some fantastic offers. On the 31st of August, don't miss the flash sale from 10 AM till 11:59 AM and use the code ANUK12 to get 12% off site-wide. Do check out all of the anniversary deals through my link in the description. Thank you so much to FlexiSpot for sponsoring this video and for the epic IRL loot. Next we've got changes to the Catalyst and tier sets. So the Catalyst charges in Season 2 are called Venom Blight Mana Flux, so they've been renamed. As it was in Season 1, once you acquire your 4 set bonus, regardless of item level of gear, you will start to get these drop in from other content, such as Mythic Plus dungeons and raid boss kills. So it is still a good idea to try and get your tier set unlocked as early as possible so that you can start getting these bonus tier set Catalyst charges. Even if it means going into LFR if you get unlucky in the other raid difficulties to get your 4 set. The achievement you'll get is called Midnight Season 2 Catalyst Unbound. So when you get to 2000 Mythic Plus rating, if you kill ula'tek on Heroic, or if you get to 1.6k PvP rating, you'll get the achievement Midnight Season 2 Serpent Scion, granting you another charge for the Catalyst. So the Catalyst charges will likely be granted every 2 weeks. An important change with the Catalyst this time is it will now keep secondary and tertiary stats on the item and any special effects when you convert it into a tier piece. Now this is pretty big. Previously, the tier set items had predetermined stats, so if you change a normal item into a tier piece, it would usually change the stats. But this is no longer the case, giving you a bit more flexibility when it comes to seeking more desirable stats on your items. The item converted into a tier piece will also inherit any special effects the item has, such as the Venom Cursed items from the raid. Let's look at the Great Vault then. So for the raid tier of the Great Vault, this is perhaps the most impactful change in Season 2. The Great Vault will always reward the next tier's difficulty level of loot compared to the content you completed the previous week. So for example, if you clear the raid on Heroic, you'll get a base level Myth gear piece of item in your vault. For Mythic Raiders, they will always get Myth 6 out of 6 gear, so don't need to upgrade it with Crests, unless they get a piece of loot from the last 2 bosses in their vault, or one of the very rare items that naturally have a higher item level anyway. They will always drop at the maximum rank, regardless if you loot it directly from the boss or from the Great Vault. So the raid fully releases on Normal, Heroic and Mythic on August the 18th for NA and the 19th for everybody else. Raid Finder will be released gradually as it usually is, with it all becoming fully available on the week of September the 8th. Story mode is available on August 25th. So Mythic Raid gear is going to be the best gear available this season, as the last 2 bosses of the raid drop Mythic gear at 9 out of 6 on their upgrade track, so ascending the boundaries of the system. You did hear that correctly. So 344 item level is the max item level of gear you can get in Season 2, as well as some of the very rare items that are also in the same level. They are at this same item level. Now normal gear from Mythic Raid will be 334 item level. And there are of course some very desirable trinkets and weapons and things from the raid to look out for, so do keep an eye on which one of these are bis for your class and spec. And remember guys, we've got the change to the world boss this time. It's now a lair. Now don't snooze on this, you need to treat this as an actual boss in the raid because it is available on the different levels of difficulty, world tier, normal, heroic and mythic, so you may get some decent items from this lair boss. So when it comes to Mythic Plus, here is the item level chart for gear corresponding to key level. We can note here that the end of dungeon drops cap out at 311 item level on the hero track, and for filling your vault with myth track gear, you do still need to be doing plus 10 keystone dungeons, the same as Season 1. When we get bonus rolls, they'll grant the items at Great Vault item level, so if you use them on a dungeon at plus 10 or above, that will get you a myth piece of gear, not a hero piece, like the usual end of dungeon rewards would be. If you're farming myth crests, anything above level 9 keystones are fine, and for farming hero crests from keys, you can simply do keys at level 4 and above. So, some of the open world gear sources changes then. Now, delves will still be a great source of crests and some gear, especially early on in the season. You can see here the chart of gear drop from delves on the different levels, as well as the prey levels and what gear they drop as well. So, do note that for the hero track gear to start dropping from bountiful delve chests, you do need to have your Delver's Journey ranked up to level 9. So, this may take quite a few weeks to actually get to. However, the Trove Hunter's Bounty map you can get to drop by killing the Delve Nemesis, or completing a weekly quest, can be used to get a piece of hero gear from the hidden chest once per week in a tier 8 to 11 delve. The weekly quest that will get you the Trove Hunter's Bounty, the Delve map, is called Purging the Vault, so this is down in the vaults of ula'tek on the Coiled Isle. And this is the guaranteed way to get your Delve map. Alternatively, if you wanted to make sure you can reliably summon the Delve Nemesis boss within a Delve, then you want the Scalebound Herald's Flute, which is dropped by the quest A Nightmarish Task, which requires you to kill 3 Nightmare Prey bosses. With prey hunts, Nightmare Prey does give hero track gear, so these will be worth doing again, especially early on in the season. A change that may help us early in the season too is that when you are rank 4 on the Prey Hunter's Journey, in tier 6 plus bountiful delves, you can start collecting afflicted souls from heavy trunks at the end of each delve. These can be used during Nightmare Prey hunts to speed up your hunt progress and draw your target out much faster, but then they will also grant you champion track gear once per week per character, so very nice for ults. When you get to Prey Hunter's Journey rank 9, this upgrades even further, so that when you use these on a Nightmare hunt, you now get bonus hero track gear instead, again once per week per character, so definitely worth paying attention to that. This means that the Delve and the Prey systems work quite nicely together when it comes to gearing up and getting crests, but it will take some time until we can progress those journeys fully enough to really reap the proper benefits. Now, during Season 1 of Midnight, you may remember that the Delve journey was capped. It was a hard cap, as was the Prey journey as well. You only got benefit from the first 4 Prey hunts that you did in terms of Prey Seeker's journey progress. Now, we need to wait and see if this is the case in Season 2, but hopefully it's uncapped and then you can just power through this at your own leisure. A recommendation for Mythic Raiders and anyone taking gearing super seriously in Season 2 is to check out Larias' Raiders Guide, which has some very specific information in there that will save you from making mistakes such as wasting crests and bonus rolls. There is an add-on to complement this as well, Larias' weekly checklist, that you can download to make checking things super easy whenever you're currently in the game. So check the description for the link to Larias' guide. Let's take a look at crafted gear then. So this still of course will require sparks, as we've been used to for a while now, so it's kind of time gated by the speed at which you can get these sparks. Most pieces of gear require 2, but things like 200 weapons of course will need 4 sparks to craft. To get your sparks, ensure that you're completing the weekly activities that begin in Silvermoon, such as the weeklies from Barisa Windrunner and Lady Leadrin. Remember, if you do fall behind with your spark acquisition, you can complete delves, Mythic Plus runs, kill raid bosses, or do instance PvP for a chance to receive catch-up sparks. Pretty nice for ults. Now, crafted gear is great, as if your best in slot crafted items are the same as last season, remember that you can just simply upgrade those. There's no need to craft a new base item. Just put your Season 2 spark into the recrafting order and away you go. However, crafted gear overall is slightly less valuable, especially when it comes to crafted gear made with hero crests, as this will of course cost you 80 crests, whereas a hero piece that comes in your Great Vault will be at the same item level of 318 and cost you 0 crests. So you may be waiting later on to make your crafted pieces or upgrade an item, unless you get super unlucky with your drops, because 80 crests is quite a lot. You are best at the start of the new season if you can reliably get Myth crests if you're raiding Mythic or doing keystones high enough, potentially saving your hero crests and going straight from a Season 1 item level to Season 2 Myth item level, which will take of course 80 Myth crests. But it does save you potentially wasting the 80 hero crests on your crafted piece, but see how you feel and check your specific class and spec guides for more advice on this. There are some new embellishments which seem very strong, but these were recently nerfed quite heavily, so once again check your class guides and see which ones are currently recommended as best for you, as you may be switching up from last season's recommendations. So as for world quests and weekly quests, so the weekly quest gear item levels, the pinnacle caches from these give veteran track 279 gear, which can be upgraded up to 289, World quests will of course scale up with your gear as usual, so they will change depending on what your item level currently is, but these may be handy for alts. They do only give 1 out of 6 item level 266 gear. As for the 12.0.7 world content like ritual sites and void assaults, these will give gear up to veteran track, so not that great, but it does cap out at 295 eye level, so potentially useful. Gear from activities on Natal and Val only appears to be giving adventurer track gear, but again do check this when the patch goes live. It also only gives up to veteran crests, so really no need to go back to these zones, thankfully, when it comes to gearing. But the ritual sites may be okay for alts. Now don't forget the Renown items, they're being brought up to Season 2 item levels, so again, if you played Midnight from the start, you'll remember that when you get to roughly 7 to 9 Renown with each of the major Midnight factions, there was a quest to get a piece of gear. For example, with Southorel's Soiree, you could complete the Defending the Runestones activity and you would get a champion track helmet. So these are going down to veteran for Season 2, but it's still a very nice piece of effectively free gear that you can get for your alts. So yep, there's the helm, there's a ring from one of them, there's the trinket from the Void Storm, and there's also something else. But I'll put the information on screen so you know where they come from. So a bit of a side note, but don't snooze on this free power in Delves and the open world. Now, you will unlock early on in your Season 2 adventures at the launch of 12.1, the Altar of Corrosion and the Corrosive Gifts down in the vaults of ula'tek. Now, you will not the altar from doing the campaign quests on the Coiled Isle, but the Corrosive Gifts come from a quest item that drops when you do world activities in patch 12.1. So do a Prey Hunt or a Delve, for example, and you will get the Codex of the Soul Coilers. Follow that questline through and unlock some powers. Now, while these don't work in Raids and Mythic Plus, they do work in Delves, so definitely worth getting these to help you in Season 2. When you complete the initial quest chain, you should unlock your first power. So choose wisely, but then once you've collected 8 more souls, you can unlock more of the powers, and eventually you can use 2 of them at once. And also, if you're a returning player, or you're a little bit behind, do make sure to go and unlock your Omnium Folio. Don't snooze on that, because that is basically free power for the rest of the expansion. And it's warbound as well, so you only need to unlock it once. Now just remember, in the first week of 12.1, the season is not currently active, so you can start to fill up your Great Vault by doing potentially a tour of the Mythic 0 dungeons, which is a very good idea, by the way, to do that so you can see them all. Maybe get some 292 champion gear from those, but you cannot get a bonus roll from the first vault when Season 1 goes live, so don't worry about trying to fill up your vault if you're tied for time. To get a bonus roll, it won't be the case. But you can of course get gear from the vault for the first time. All of these Season 2 dungeons are available on Mythic 0 in this first week, so it's a good idea to do all of those. Go and see the dungeons if you haven't already, and learn what the mechanics are like. And then make sure you do your weekly quests as well to get your Spark, if this is available in week 1. You can do all the delves at all the levels, just not the bountiful delves. So you could use this time to level Valeria if she isn't at 60 yet, or if she can be leveled even further up towards a new level cap of 80 in week 1, definitely start doing that as well. You can do the Delve Nemesis on question mark difficulty, not double question mark, until the season actually starts. I've got a guide coming out for that as well, so stay tuned. If it's already out, I will link it in the description for you. And that is pretty much everything you need to know about gearing up in Season 2, so hopefully I've covered everything. If you have any other tips you'd like to share, please leave those in the comments, as well as any questions you may have. If you enjoyed the video, please leave us a like and subscribe to the channel for all my World of Warcraft content. Big thank you to our channel members here on YouTube and our Patreons, and we also stream on Twitch, guys, so feel free to come on over, leave us a follow on Twitch, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next stream. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Have a great time in Midnight Season 2, good luck with the gearing, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.